So, Brandon, the title of today's GPS episode is NFL Civil War Incoming. Of course, talking about, Dan Snyder and Jim Irsay, like he came out and said all these things. My question is Dan Snyder Captain America or Iron Man in this Civil War?
Loki.
Oh, baby, we here.
Because he low-key the devil.
I see.
Had a whole intro to think about it, baby.
You know what? That was good. Was
it worth ruining your intro?
That was so worth it.
Tight.
But we are here.
And we steer
you in the right direction as we try to navigate through a potentially pending civil war that is going to I was singing that this morning. I was singing it. Yep.
Well, Guns N' Roses.
I was just like, let's go. But yeah, folks, there's some little tidbits of news that came out yesterday. The owner of the Indianapolis Colts, Mr. Irsay, basically like, yeah, I think there's some cause. There is some cause that maybe Dan Snyder gets the old boot. Doesn't know when, doesn't know where, doesn't know why. Well, he knows why, but and he basically said, "Hey, yo, come at me, bro." Honestly, yes, but Zemo's just so much better. I imagine Zemo has so much better like dance moves though too. Oh yeah.
This is big. I mean,
it is.
The NFL owners are always so united.
Reserved,
like during all of the horrible accusations against Dan Snyder and his franchise, they were mum. They were like, oh, no.
Those cheerleaders aren't people. It's fine. They're like, oh, the harassment throughout your entire organization. Employees, am I right? But now,
like 50 people, all liars. They are all liars. So like, Jim Irsay, maybe he was on the sauce, maybe he wasn't. We don't know. But him to come out and say, yeah, I think we'll have the votes to get rid of Dan Snyder if we need him. Doesn't mean they are going to do it because Dan Snyder is a powerful owner. His team does make a lot of money, but I think the idea is that they would like him to just agree to sell the team like Jerry Richardson did for the Panthers. But Dan Snyder ain't going down like that. Ain't going down like that. So we'll break down how they could get rid of Dan Snyder, all the things going on with it. There's a lot happening today because they met Tuesday, the owner. So that's why we get these little nuggets. They're not going to fix any of the officiating issues in the NFL. To that, they said, no. You get what we give you. You get what we give you.
Yeah. We had some nice back and forth last night, too, because then the Commanders releasing statements. And then they're like, then they released another statement. They're like, well, let's talk about the ESPN, but we'll break that all down. We'll talk about all that. I don't think you did your power rankings yesterday, right? Because you did the second worst game.
Yeah.
So do you have a teaser, maybe a little?
Yeah, let me bring him in here real quick.
Appetizer. We got to compare some power rankings here. On top of that, Dak Prescott, he's going to be practicing right now. The Saints honestly cannot stay healthy to save their lives right now. When we got off the show, Robbie Anderson got traded. That was back all the way from Monday, right?
Yeah. Well, so did he got traded to the Cardinals?
Yeah, he got traded to the Cardinals for basically a bag of beans. Yeah.
Yeah. What's funny about that is I saw this is how little anybody cares about Robbie Anderson getting traded. Sorry, Robbie. I got an ESPN fantasy update that said Robbie Anderson could be like a sneaky pickup if the Cardinals use him. I was like, wait, the Cardinals?
Yeah, what?
Because I'm fighting a cold. I was just nose to the grindstone trying to edit yesterday. I go on Twitter and Twitter tells me right away if it's, important NFL news. It's Shefty tweeting, it's Ian Rappaport. I saw nothing about Robbie Anderson. I went to Ian Rappaport's page and I didn't see the tweet up there. And so until just now, was under the assumption ESPN Fantasy was projecting maybe if Robbie Anderson goes there. So I did not know he was actually traded.
He went, because Hollywood Brown, they feared that it was going to be a season-ending injury, but he's only going to be out for an extended amount of time, but it's not going to potentially be season-ending. Yeah. So no, that's good to know. I saw it in the beginning, and then no one talked about oh, Robbie Anderson got traded. That was quick, and then it was done because of course got kicked off the field during the game on Sunday against the Rams, and then was bye-bye. So that not too surprising there.
Yeah, now I see it. It just must have got buried.
Yeah.
That video of him doing something sexual on the side of a car is what I have seen more of.
That's not him. But I know exactly what you're talking about, which I hate. But it's fine. On top of that, we got Melvin Gordon news to talk about, and maybe Brandon Perna could give some insight there. Aaron Rodgers appearing on the Pat McAfee show yesterday saying Aaron Jones needs to get more touches. If only somebody could give him that. Oh, wait, maybe the person who either calls the plays and or touches the ball every single snap. But
Rodgers is in his older age turning into a little one of these guys, pointing the finger in other directions.
But the most important news, Marcus Mariota, NFC QB of the week.
Ooh,
what timeline are we in, Brandon Perna?
You throw one incompletion, you deserve that honor, Marcus. Dude, I think the Falcons just got to stick in those throwbacks. They're so nice. NFL is weird this year. It is we talked a little bit about it Monday about the overall scores being down. It just feels like there's a lot of bad offense, a lot of bad QB play.
Yes.
And last year it felt kind of the opposite. It was offenses felt kind of a little bit unstoppable early. It seemed like I can talk, guys.
Well, they're scoring less points, I think, because the average is 25 points a game around the league, which is pretty low compared to a couple of other years. One, and then two, on top of that, and I'm seeing a lot of this now on Twitter. You kind of are seeing maybe this changing of the guard that's starting to occur. You look at some of the older vets like a Rodgers and a Brady who are struggling right now, and you see a Mahomes and Allen. They're kind of starting to really kind of be we are the top. So
which leads me to a question for everybody watching, because I'm struggling with the video title. Shout out Johnny for staying up very late to get me this video done in
Johnny
the AM. It's about the Chiefs and Bills rivalry and how it's the new best rivalry in the NFL. They've overtaken what Brady Manning was. That was the last great rivalry. So I just need the title. I don't the new greatest rivalry in the NFL. Why Mahomes Allen is important. I need you guys to give me that title that people are
Mahomes versus Allen greatest rivalry in the NFL ?
Oh, okay. Pretty good.
It's just you look angry.
Oh yeah, it's because Broncos played on Monday Night Football. Also got a little bit of a cold. Daddy's got a cold.
Oh, Daddy got a cold.
And let me just say my power rankings are going to be wild because the Bills, the Eagles, the Vikings are all on bye weeks. And I'm just taking them out. I'm taking them out this week.
Not again. Do we even have any comparisons right now?
Yes.
Do I even want to see them?
Yes.
Okay. Here, let's get that out of the way now. Let's get the pandemonium.
That's hilarious. Oh, man, I should have used that joke. Okay, let's get our power rankings compare.
I hate you so much.
Oh. So, and this isn't even a spoiler, Tom, because I'm not going to have Bills Eagles at 1 and 2 because they're on bye week.
Oh my God, I hate you.
But we did flip flop them. Okay, we flip flopped them. Wait. Did you have the Eagles at 1 before?
I did.
Okay, so we flip-flop Eagles-Bills, and that's because the Bills just beat the Chiefs. There are people probably tell you the Chiefs are the best team. Buffalo gets the win in Kansas City. Philly beats the Cowboys. You're like, yeah, the Cooper Rush luck had to run out at some point. Philadelphia, congrats. You're still great. NFC, not so great. So, yeah, that's why we got the Bills there. But
you can't. So the Bills and Eagles are not even going to be there.
Nope.
So, oh my God, who's your number one team? Is it going to be the Chiefs? Oh God.
Maybe.
No, don't encourage him. Don't enable him, okay? It's every season, and this is how it starts. Last week, there was 2 that were just floating above the numbers. It was above the power ranking title. They're just in the cloud. And this is what happens, because you all encourage him, and look what happens.
Yep. I like to.
Corb, I don't know what my mid-season reaction is to those. Power rankings are, I don't know.
Let me bring this back up real quick.
Why, Perna? What are you comparing?
Look at that. Look at the Giants at 4. That's impressive. They keep getting those gritty wins.
There's such a huge drop-off between
Patriots,
the top 3 teams.
Yeah, Patriots really coming in strong. They can run the football. Their defense is looking great, and Bailey is happy.
Bailey's happy.
My proposal is the Broncos trade Russell Wilson to the Patriots for Bailey Zappi. Yay or nay?
I want
you guys act.
I want you to pause for one moment. Imagine you said that exact phrase before week 1 of the NFL.
Yep.
Trading Russell Wilson for Bailey Zappi.
Bailey Zappi.
And kind of meaning it.
What did the Athletic do?
Yeah, they legit, like, they stopped, I think, after 3. And they were just like, yeah, no, because, like, there's such a huge drop-off. I don't know if they, like, didn't include 4. Someone was talking about the power rankings.
Wow.
Like, I can bring more chaos than that. I'm just going to have all the teams around bye weeks not be there.
Curse wheel's looking good, though, guys.
DT, I don't know about that. I mean, you have Perna literally praying to Satan on Monday Night Football, so.
Yeah, I'll go back to Satan if I can get a win. Get behind me, Satan. Jack White.
I'm telling you, I want like an emo goth Russell Wilson to come out, just black eyeliner, just like dressed in all black, comes out. Hey guys, that's right, I guess. I want to see it.
You know, is that Satan worshiping though? I want him to come out just full on like the weird contacts that make his eyes like
make him like red,
little red dots.
Yeah. Oh yeah, have like the pentagrams all over.
And he's just doing this the whole time. Let's crucify. No, not crucify. What do devil worshippers say? This is how you know I don't worship Satan. This is how you know.
You're about to say let's crucify.
I don't know I don't know. I'm not a
crucify.
Satan worshiper. I don't believe in anything. Suck
my God. That's how he ends every single press conference. Let's crucify.
Oh boy.
Good job, Perna. Good job. You got us canceled freaking less than 15 minutes into the episode.
Yeah. I should I should clip out something.
Speaking of the Broncos, let's talk about Melvin Gordon.
Yeah.
They'd be worse.
Melly. As I call him, Melly.
So Melvin Gordon, as we were talking about on the Monday night stream, was sitting on the sideline, and the cameras kept panning to him, and it was sad Melvin Gordon. Just like, whoop, he was sitting there sad. They weren't utilizing him. We're giving it more to Latavius Murray. Boone was getting a couple. And there started being question marks of like, well, why isn't he being played right now?
Right.
You know, it's like kind of like crunch time. The game is close. Like, why aren't you doing it? And so Hackett came out recently and said like he didn't do anything wrong. Gordon, if I'm not mistaken, was interviewed at his locker. And he was like, I thought I could have helped.
It's the saddest interview I've ever seen in my life.
It really is. Like, I just wanted to help. Home country. Oh my God. This is great.
Hold on.
Okay. I'm holding.
Yeah. So like it was interesting because afterwards, after you see the interview, like I think Melvin was a little confused. Nobody told him that he wouldn't be getting any more carries throughout the game. I thought that was a little weird by the Broncos coaching staff. Like, that's like if you're a young rookie and, the coaches don't take the time to tell you like, hey, you're not going to be going in the second half, or, just always be ready to go. Always be ready to go in the game. Like, I feel like Gordon deserves like, hey, we're going to lean on Latavius Murray in the second half. Just want to give you a heads up. But they didn't do that. And Hackett saying he didn't do anything wrong afterwards makes it even more bizarre. It just adds into like the whole feeling of this team doesn't look like it knows
what they're doing.
So, yeah. And like I said, the reason Melvin's not playing is the fumbles. Like we all know that. Like,
sure,
it's the fumbles. They don't trust you. And I get why they wouldn't give him the ball while they're confident now that Latavius Murray knows enough to run the offense. But you start the game with Melvin in there, giving him a few carries.
Yeah.
Like if you're not going to give him, just don't do it at all in the game. And he's right. Like maybe he would have been able to provide a little something. I think he's a little more elusive than Latavius Murray. Latavius was just like, I'm going to get 4 yards, 5 yards every play.
Latavius Murray is just like, like he's like, hey, I'm just going to smash you.
Gordon's like, he can do that, but it just seems like he'll wiggle his way through for like 9 or 10 yards more frequently. But either way, we don't have a guy who's giving us home run balls.
Yeah. So again, it's just weird. Like, are they just saying, hey, buddy, like, we're going to trade you? Like, that's what's going to happen. But it seems like, oh, no, he didn't do anything wrong. Is that just to be like, hey, so no, there's nothing wrong with him. Let's get a tiny bit of trade value for him.
Don't know.
But
Poser.
USA.
Jeffrey Dahmer.
USA.
Here, please.
New one for the Arsenal, Tom.
Poser.
USA.
Jeffrey Dahmer.
USA.
Here, please.
One more.
Poser.
USA.
Jeffrey Dahmer.
USA.
Here, please.
Football.
Okay.
This is where we're at. This represents this NFL season for me.
The first time I was like, did he say Jeffrey Dahmer? And he did. Right. And then I heard it 2 more times. So, okay. So yeah, Melvin Gordon, we'll see what happens with there. Maybe just a reflection on the Broncos' current state.
The Broncos' current state is bad. Just to be clear. Bad.
Bad football team.
Bad. And now, everyone's like, whoa, where'd Tom? There's Tom. Everyone's like, why can't Russell Wilson go through his progressions? Why can't he see?
Uh-oh. Perna's freezing. It ain't me. I'm not going anywhere.
Russell Wilson see a wide open Greg Dulcich in the middle of the field when that should be his first read? It's a zone defense. This should be his first look. I don't know, guys. We don't know. I've seen some oh, dang, that was the other one I meant to get. Luke Wilson was talking about him, right? Luke Wilson, former tight end. What's that?
Owen Wilson.
It is Luke Wilson, though, right?
No, it's Owen Wilson.
Yeah, well, there's Owen Wilson, but there's Luke Wilson.
From Wedding Crashers?
Yes.
He played football in that movie?
Yeah, against Bradley Cooper.
Yep, it's true. In The Hangover.
Yeah, where they get lost in Las Vegas and they can't leave it. So they can't leave Las Vegas with Nicolas Cage.
In space.
Also is in that movie.
Yep. So yeah, anyway, in terms of what the Broncos are doing, who the hell knows? They're playing the Jets, and that's going to be a tough game for them this weekend.
Oh my God.
We'll see what happens there. But there is some other controversy going on right now. And I found it interesting. And I know, Perna, you put it in the, honestly, yes. I know you put it in the rundown, but I want to talk about this a little bit because why not? Let's just stir the pot.
We'll start with the Broncos.
So, Todd, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? I heard it. I heard something. Are you making clips during the show now?
Yeah.
Oh, God. I hear you fast forwarding through something. It's like Spaceballs. Fast forward, fast forward. Whatever. I'm just going to keep on going. I'm just going to keep on going and see what happens.
Is horrid. And you pointed it out. Chargers.
Are you watching another show? It's like GPS is not cutting it for me today.
Just watching Dan Patrick.
I see them.
Oh, okay. You know, I hear it like very clearly.
All right. I'm just going to get you this.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
You're going to like this, Tom. This is going to be worth me tanking the show. Trust me, guys.
Should I even continue to the next topic or no?
Yeah, keep carrying the show, please, like you do every time we
But it's
are
for
together.
you, though. You're going to love to talk about this. It's Tom Brady comparing the NFL to military deployment.
Yeah, I put that in the rundown.
This is your chance, Perna. Out of all the times that you could crap all over him, this is like you were made for this moment. So crap all over him.
Mr. Anti-America, disrespecting the military, Tom Brady. How does he sneak this quote under the radar? Oh, my goodness. Could you imagine if Colin Kaepernick had said this very thing, Tom? Oh, Tom Brady was on is Larry Fitzgerald's podcast? Some podcast. And basically, he's talking about how once football season starts, it's hard to dedicate time to your family.
Which, first of all, before you even continue, Brady, we know. Like,
yeah,
I watched the documentary, and if there was one thing that I like kind of respected him for a tiny bit, was being honest that like he kind of sucked as a dad. He's just like, yeah, I see what my dad did for me. I wish that I was.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. TBK, it's the same thing, right? You go out and you play football, and you go and fight for the country. Yeah, it's the exact same thing. Exact same thing. So it's continue. Sorry, I didn't mean to step on you. So first of all, we know, Brady. Like we know. Obviously, I'm not going to even get into the personal issues, but just him himself has come out and saying like, yeah, no, not doing great in the old dad department. But continue, Brenda. Continue.
Yeah, I was just gonna say like there's maybe like 4 other guys in the NFL who could say this, and they wouldn't just be eviscerated immediately for saying it. Everybody, like, I get what he's saying. It shouldn't be a big deal. Like, he's saying he basically is just away from his family.
Away from the family.
He compares it to the military. Of course, you're not going to die out there serving your country, Tom. That would be like the difference between football and serving. Serving is you're not going to die. Probably. Like, football's dangerous. You could get hurt.
You know what? If Tom Brady had any balls, what he would have said is like, you know what? Our military members, they're being shot at. They have to worry about bombs. They have to worry about, all these things. But did you see that roughing the passer hit that I got against the Falcons? Because that was kind of worse than anything that I've seen. And I've seen a lot of Call of Duty footage.
We just somebody needs to put together the clip where Tom Brady's saying the NFL's gotten like soft in terms of protecting players, and then comparing playing in the NFL to being in the military. Just go back and forth between those. Pick one, Tom. Pick one. But it's like a weird thing for him to say after everything that's going on with like the marriage and stuff. It's like, I probably wouldn't have said that, but
probably would have avoided that. Dude, I think even if you or I said that, we would get eviscerated online. Because we're nobody. Like, but Tom Brady says it. And I saw people like saying things and they're like, oh, it's fine. Like, don't worry about it. Like, oh, blah, 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 blah. And I was just like, how does he get away with that?
Yeah. It's just a double standard. And I like, he shouldn't be torn down for saying that. Like, because it's, he's not meaning anything negative by it. But if other guys would have said that, they would have been eviscerated.
Yeah. So
okay, this is the clip I was trying to get.
Yeah, what do you got? What do you got? You were making
it is
something.
Luke. It's Luke Wilson.
It's Owen Wilson.
And this offense is horrid. But Denver, oh my goodness.
And Russ.
So that's Luke Wilson talking about the Broncos. I think his perspective is interesting because he used to play with one Russell Wilson.
So, Brandon, I'm just going to go back to a comment that I made many months ago.
I swear to God, if you bring up what if Russ sucks right now, I am going to go join the military.
I said, what if Wilson sucks?
And this offense is horrid. But Denver, oh my goodness.
And Russ.
Oh my good. We need to get Luke Wilson on this show. We need to get Luke on this show.
He's like, listen, this is him basically going the opposite of Brady. He's like, listen, there's a lot of terrible things going on in the world right now, but Russell Wilson, whew, I'd say there's famine, there is poverty, there is class inequality, but Russell Wilson is the worst that I've seen.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's not a great little headline for that. Okay.
Things are bad.
Things are bad. Things are bad. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. So yeah, before we get to the main story here, Deshaun Jackson signed with the Ravens practice squad. We saw that.
Wait, one more thing. You remember when we were streaming the game?
Yes,
and the Broncos player runs out of bounds and he like hits that dude.
Yeah, because the carpet was there, right? Did he tear his ACL?
Yeah, Aaron Patrick tore his ACL when he was going out of bounds there. Like, because that's just one of the worst ways.
Caught, right? Like in the carpet, it like got caught
kind
there.
His leg like kind of just planted a little bit weird. Yeah, but we were streaming that and we were like, why is the football player down? Like he blasted the dude on the sideline, and just really unfortunate that he tore his ACL there. Anyway, that was just an update for you, Tom.
Yeah, the Broncos are not having the most luck there. Oh yeah, I imagine. So like Tom Cruise does his own stunts and like that's very impressive and stuff. But no, sorry. So like, you go up in the plane, but they're not going to let you touch that plane. They're not going to let you. They're not going to let you. Maybe that's what Tom Brady does next. Maybe he joins the military, or he's in Top Gun 3.
Ooh, I'm the Top Gun now.
Yeah, and he's just trying to usurp Tom Cruise. He's like, there can only be one Tom. As I get a knock on my door.
Yeah, it's the Tom versus Tom. Mm-hmm. And Tom Cruise is like, I'm older than you, but I actually look younger. Ooh.
Did you know, by the way?
Age? Tom, are you got a bright future ahead of you, my friend. 75-year-old Tom Grossi.
What runs in my family. Anyway, real quick, I didn't know if you know this. And this, honestly, is not even in the rundown, but I just, like, thought about Tom Brady coming to take me out so he could be a YouTuber.
Ooh.
Did you know that Cam Newton is a YouTuber now?
No.
He's got, like, 599,000 subs. And the only reason I know that is because when I was writing the NFC South and filming that yesterday, I was like, what's Cam Newton up to nowadays? Because I know he's a free agent still.
Yeah.
And the number one thing was on his Twitter said, go check out my YouTube. And I was like, oh, but like maybe he's just, no. That guy is like uploading frequently. Like he's doing interviews with like Stacey Abrams. Like he's doing like a ton of different interviews and stuff. And I was like, wow, Cam Newton is a YouTuber now.
Shout out. Yeah, we got to get him on the show. We know the hustle, Cam. Let us give you a few lessons. First thing you do, Cam, you got to create a Big Dick Player Award. Once you do that, you'll wonder why you are unsuccessful for 7 straight years on YouTube. Then change it all up. Do things smarter. That's my advice to Cam. Also, thank you for Super Bowl 50.
Can you imagine if we get him on and like it's like we were like, oh dude, like, you know, we just want to hear like your side of the story, what have you. He comes on and you just go, thanks for Super Bowl 50, and you kick him out.
Oh, honestly, that would be an ultimate troll.
That would be the greatest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Ultimate troll job.
All right.
Cam Newton, thank you for allowing me to live in the past. You were my last great football game.
Thank you. And as Tom Brady would say, thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service, Cam.
Let's jump into the main topic.
Playing in Super Bowl 50 was actually harder than going to war. Cam Newton. Ooh, NFL rivals, old rivals. Is that my a title episode? Very good.
Rivals of the rivals. Let's talk about the main story. Let's talk about Dan Snyder. Let's talk about Dan Snyder.
Okay, yeah. This is why people are here.
Yes.
Probably.
Is it?
I don't know. It's so weird. It's like talking about NFL owners is either like really interesting or people are like, shut up. We don't care about these billionaires fighting.
But the reason why this is so, first of all, there's a lot of reasons why this story is so fascinating, and I think people are interested. I mean, I'm very interested, not only because the amount of content that I would get out of it if the NFL just like went full-blown civil war would be amazing. It's two, everybody hates Dan Snyder.
Yeah.
Everybody. It's like that line from the ESPN article, right? It's just like, no, Dan, everyone just hates you. But it's fans, it's Washington fans, it's outside fans, it's NFC East fans. Everybody hates Dan Snyder because they know how much of a putrid human being he is. So one, they want to see his downfall, waking up extra early to pray for his downfall. That's one. Two, as you were talking about, owners usually are very, very reserved. They don't really speak out against each other. Every single time there's like a little something that is not as explosive as this, people are like, oh, wow, like that's a big deal. So that's two. And three, you know that there's like that itching curiosity of like, well, what does Dan Snyder know? Just so like, again, we could just unleash hell and pandemonium.
Yeah. I wish it was anybody other than Jim Irsay saying this publicly though, because I feel like next to maybe Mark Davis, people take Jim Irsay the least serious. You know what I mean? Trevor Moad. What?
He's from Star Wars.
Oh. What were we talking about, Tom?
We were talking about you wish it was not Jim Irsay. You wish it was a different owner.
Yeah, that came out and like it needs to be somebody with a little more authority, I feel like. And yes, we want to know the dirt. Jim Irsay said, let me get his exact quote.
Yeah.
Dan Snyder can investigate me until the cows come home. So, you know, Jim Irsay's dirt's already out there. We already know that. One, he has a band. He plays in a band. There's clips of Jim Irsay playing with his band. There's the painkillers thing. Drinking. Don't know if those are still issues. Hope they're not.
He's got a past, and it's out. Yeah. It's out.
That's like old news.
Yeah.
So he's already been through, you know, the ringer in terms of having his dirty laundry aired.
Sure.
What's interesting too about this is, I think, was it just this week that another accusation against Jerry Jones came out about a woman saying like he forcibly kissed her in front of other employees or something. I feel like if there is a lot of dirt on somebody, it's probably Jerry Jones.
Which is why Jerry Jones is not going up against Dan Snyder, because you know that Dan's just like, oh, my Jerry Jones file? Please hold.
Yeah. And Jerry Jones is the most powerful owner in the NFL outside of my Rob Walton, who's just figuring out how the game is played. But we were going to talk about how they can actually remove Dan Snyder, right?
Yeah, because there's a bit of confusion that goes along with that. It's also likely not going to happen right now. So like the full quote that we were talking about, he said, basically the whole thing that started like all of this stuff. Oh, he was his life coach?
Oh, weird.
I didn't even know that. I don't even know. So
no.
Yeah, just no. So, all right. So Irsay was basically asked if he thought the votes were there, and he said, I think potentially there will be, but we will see. He said it was hard to say like when it actually could occur. It's not going to be a vote on Tuesday, which obviously didn't happen. He said, I don't know how long it will take. Certainly we're going to go be thorough and look at everything. It could be at the March meeting. I don't know, but I know we want to be thorough and look at everything carefully. So he even like is putting a time frame on it and saying like this could happen like during the off season. In which, like, when they all come together, that like they could actually do it. And I'm just curious of like how many people Jim Irsay like represents, because all of them might hate him, but will they vote him out? Like that's a big deal. Sorry, StreamYard decided to shut my mic up.
That's all right. Yeah, no, it'd be huge. just him being the first guy like to say it is a big step forward, I think. Whether the other NFL owners wanted him to, that's a different story. Roger Goodell basically played neutral. He said he supports Jim Irsay saying what he said, and he also said something like in favor of Dan Snyder. So good job, Goodell. But yeah, I was just bringing up like let's see here, all this Dan Snyder stuff. So we just a little visual here. Oh, here's the cows come home. It's not gonna back me off.
So in terms of how actually this could be done, so they would need 24 votes to actually kick Dan Snyder out. Right. So it's a 3/4 vote. So they need 24 out of the 32. So that is a lot of votes.
Yes.
So basically, you would have to get 24 NFL owners to all say, yes, we're kicking out Dan Snyder. We're going to force him to sell the team, which right now we have one. So the fact that Irsay is coming out and saying, like, we might have the votes.
Yeah, I wonder how close it is. And I'd like to know what is it, like 8 guys wouldn't vote for him to be out at this
Jerry
point?
Jones.
I don't know. I feel like Jerry's a wild card. I'm a wild card, guys. Because the other thing that came out of this owners meeting was that Jerry Jones told Robert Kraft, don't fuck with me. And they were discussing Roger Goodell's next contract.
Yep.
So they voted in favor to open up negotiations with Goodell's team on compensation.
Because they have an issue. Who is it? Which side has an issue of how Goodell's paid? Is it
Jerry
Kraft?
Jones?
It's
just Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones was the one owner to vote no on bringing up the negotiations for Goodell. And it's like some like technicality stuff, like the pay structure, performance. And apparently he told that to Kraft, and Kraft was like, what? Excuse me? He's like, don't mess with me.
I'm your coach.
So I think he's a wild card. He's clearly starting to maybe lose it a little bit. And also in this thing, we learned now there's an attorney for 4 dozen former Commanders employees has concerns the NFL violated its promise of confidentiality, leading to Dan Snyder learning the names of those who testified against him. So the NFL said they weren't going to make those emails public because they didn't want to breach the confidentiality of the accusers of Dan Snyder. So when we were like, hey, like this goes back to the Gruden emails, right? Like show us all the emails. Let's see, after your investigation of Dan Snyder, let's see all the dirt. And they're like, can't do that. There's confidentiality. We don't want these people exposed. Now an attorney saying that information got to Dan Snyder anyway. Why is that important? Because Dan Snyder goes after the people who have accused him of things. He has deployed tactics to intimidate them. So that's why this is an issue. And that's why people believe Dan Snyder is actively seeking information on other owners, even though Dan Snyder's like, I'm totally not doing that, guys. Here's a letter out to the league. I'm not looking into any of you. I am doing nothing nefarious. So all of this is a mess. We don't know what to believe, but there's just a lot of dirt here. And it is just time to get him out of there.
And as people in the chat are saying, like, basically it's 7 people because Snyder's not going to vote for himself. Right. Okay. So that's one already. So it's a lot of people that you need to actually vote him out. But again, it's how many scandals does it take to it's how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? Like, how many scandals does it take to finally say, like, yes, you're gone? And I know that all of us were joking about it, that when there was rumors about him having a separate book and taking money from owners, we were like, well, that's the one. That's going to do it because that's what the owners actually care about.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
And again, as an owner, I'm voting to kick out Dan Snyder.
Yeah, I'd vote for it. Maybe it's like Rob Walton. Like, they don't know how he would vote yet, but because that would maybe be 2. But in the last video I did about Dan Snyder, I said, like, I can't recap everything that's happened because it would take 20 minutes of this video. And I scrolled through an Athletic article that timelines like all it just goes for days. And this is just like the last couple years. It's like insane. The NFL owners are all just like, they're in it for themselves. We get that. They finally have the momentum, I think. They have the public support to get rid of him. Everybody, I feel like, is educated enough to know like it's the right thing to do. And the issue is Dan Snyder's not willing to do it quietly. So,
and that's the funny thing also is like Snyder, it's not like, Snyder gets kicked out to the street. Like he's going to get billions and billions and billions of dollars here. It's just like I think he's that confident saying like, no, like you're not taking me out. Like I'm going out on my own terms and I refuse to go out at all. Honestly, I think Murphy votes him out.
yeah, Murphy feels like a guy who has dignity.
Murphy only has a couple years left too, so because then he gets forced out. So, oh man, can you imagine Murphy just like, hey, Snyder, right there.
And I think a lot of it depends on who wants to come in and purchase the team. I think it's assumed that it's Jeff Bezos, right? Like he wants the Washington football team, and he's powerful enough to intimidate Dan Snyder. He's one of the few people who could. So I don't know if that's a good thing for the NFL. You got Bezos and Rob Walton owning NFL teams. But that may be where we're heading, because they can oust him, but they've got to have a buyer.
They have to have a buyer. Yeah.
That's part two.
Which
also, you know what? This is the other thing that was bizarre, because the NFL suspended Dan Snyder, right? Indefinitely. Yeah. You know what they never announced? He's back. He's allowed to do
he was at the game. Things again. Was it this past week or the week prior? Oh, it was the Thursday night game, because he was there, because he was hanging out. Yeah.
Yeah. And then like a day or two later, I saw a blurb about, and he's been quietly allowed back into his role.
I just want, if it's Jeff Bezos who takes it over, I want them to change their name again.
Oh, yeah. The Washington Amazons.
That's it.
The Washington Primes. You know, we saw the other day, speaking of Amazon.
Anti-union.
Good. We've got security cameras at our house. And like it gives you a little notification when something happens. You know, makes Jess feel safe. It's like 5:30 in the morning. We're getting an Amazon package delivered. She gets the notification. She happens to be up because, that's just life with a kid. And looks out on the security thing. Amazon drivers in the driveway. Just throws out a pack of cigarettes onto our driveway and leaves.
Was it full or no?
Just litters in our driveway after delivering a package. So, Mr. Bezos, could you please fix that? How rude is that?
He's going to lay off 18 people now because of that. I hope you're happy.
That guy deserves to be laid off. You know what I don't like? Litter bugs. Bring out the raid.
I love how this is turned into, like, we're going to have an NFL Civil War, and you're like, let's talk about littering.
Hey, it made sense. It was Amazon.
Yeah, I
usually
guess.
Very satisfied with my Amazon deliveries. It was an empty pack. It was an empty pack, guys. Just their trash.
It's not just like, I've seen your videos and I see how the Broncos are doing. Here you go, buddy. It's for you.
Yeah, there's a Frito bag in our driveway the other day, too. It's like, we don't eat Fritos. Where'd this come from? Why is my house the trash yard of the neighborhood?
Perna has become the crotchety old man.
Get off my lawn!
He's just going to start doing GPS outside on his porch and just be like,
you litter? That's the principal from Back to the Future.
Yes.
When he comes back, he's got the shotgun. But anyway, so Bezos will probably be the next owner of the Washington football team.
But like, so Perna, to kind of like put a bow on this, do you actually think there's 24 votes? Like, again, we have the time because it's not going to happen until like next year at the minimum.
Yeah.
Do you think they have the votes? And if so, who's not voting for him? Like, who's saying no, keep him in the league?
I don't know.
See, I think Jerry's keeping him in the league.
Yeah, like Jerry was an ally of his for a while.
I feel like he still is.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. We know there's dirt on Jerry, so you're probably right there, Jerry.
But Because
I
again,
don't know enough about the other
because the
owners. Like, we
response-
only know the really bad ones, right? We don't know who
yeah.
the decent ones, the nice people, maybe. We just hear about the dirt.
Well, so here's the issue that I kind of want to get into, though. So if, let's just say it happens, they kick him out. Is the NFL then just going to go through a purge because of all the stuff that Dan Snyder has? Or he just going to get sued to oblivion and like covered in lawsuits and be like, you have to sign every NDA ever that you can't say anything? Because like, I just don't see a world where let's just say it's true, because you had the Commanders release 2 statements yesterday.
Yeah.
One was kind of like to the ownership and just being like, oh, it's really irresponsible of Mr. Irsay to say these kinds of things. It's not surprising though. And blah, 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 blah.
They were nice statements too. Like, I was reading through it, and for a second, I almost like felt for Dan. I'm like, oh, this is really well worded. It's like you're painting yourself as a victim. Yeah. And I go, no, you're not tricking me, Dan. You're still the bad guy.
Nay. And then there was another statement that came out that was just like, listen, like, we need to talk to everyone. I never investigated anyone, never hired anybody to investigate anyone, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
So again, that's just a weird story to begin with. But
I just want to live in a world where we don't assume all of the billionaires have done horrible, horrible things to get where they are. Because that's the thing. Like, we don't have evidence of other guys having all this dirt, but we just assume, like, if Dan goes looking, he's going to find a lot.
Yeah. But like, I love that it's just like, oh, I know I'm a garbage human being, so I need to make sure that the other people are at least a little bit of garbage human beings, so I can protect my garbage human being self.
Yeah.
But anyway, so my thing is the fallout that happens if Snyder is ousted, because that could be bad, like real bad.
Ownership turnover is incredibly rare in the NFL.
So rare. It never happens. And so if like, let's just say Dan Snyder comes out and he has like things on for dirt and goes like, hey, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 owners, right? They did some really bad stuff.
Yeah.
Again, I don't even know what kind of stuff they could have on
there.
What
if we find out one of them was responsible for the JFK assassination? You laughed a little too much at that, Tom. You think it's funny?
I would
think that's
wonder
funny?
when Ted Cruz took over. Oh no, he's the Zodiac Killer.
Oh, that's right.
He's the Zodiac Killer. Sorry, I get them mixed up. Who's who? I mean, can you imagine? I'm sorry. Jerry's like, I was there.
Jerry's like, I was just a young 45-year-old man when that happened. Jerry Jones, age 45 when JFK was shot.
That would be, it's just like, hey, Jerry Jones has proof that there are aliens because Jerry Jones is an alien. Oh. Like, what if that's the dirt? It's like, no, one of them's a legit lizard person.
Yeah, I could see that.
But anyway, that's so. What does the NFL do then? If like 5 of you, let's just throw out a number. If 5 of those owners, it's basically like, hey, like here's evidence that they did some really bad stuff. You what? Then gonna get rid of 5 more owners?
Yeah.
Because then like that, I think that's one of the biggest issues with Dan Snyder right now. If you oust him, then you're gonna have a major backlash going, well, what about this guy? And what about this guy? And what about this guy? Because that's what our society does, right? It's gonna be, what about this one, especially if Snyder starts leaking stuff.
Yeah.
True. It's true. It's a lot of owners.
He can't leak it to the Washington Post, though. Bezos owns that, right?
Yes. It's true. Mark Murphy. Yes.
More monopoly. That's what I want.
So I don't know, but like, I think that is kind of what's been in the way, because if you get rid of Dan Snyder, then other people who are going to be tangled up in that, they're now implicated, and there's going to be a huge backlash to get rid of them.
Yeah.
So we gonna see, Brandon Perna. We are gonna see.
Was Dan Snyder invited to Robert Kraft's wedding? That's what I want to know. Mm-hmm. Oh, Tom Brady doesn't have time for his family in the offseason, but he has time to go to Robert Kraft's 81-year-old wedding? Interesting.
Well, you know who
Interesting
wasn't
thought.
invited? Jimmy Garoppolo.
He was, but the
It's too
key
much of the
card didn't
past.
work.
It's too much of the
Yeah.
past.
Key card was false.
I love it. I love it. Thursday Night Football. You got the Saints and you got the Cardinals. The Saints are beat to absolute hell. They just said another injury was announced today too. I think it was another one of their O linemen, maybe their guard or something. Like he's injured. Like they're battling. The Cardinals' offense is terrible. Is this going to be another terrible Thursday night game? Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
See, I tried to deflect last week and say it looks like it's going to be a bad game, Bears Commanders, but they're just going to, surprise us all, and it's going to turn into like a high scoring game.
There was no surprise last week, Perna.
Nope. And I want to say that again for this game because these two teams do have more potential to like score on offense.
I agree.
Like the Cardinals, they should be like maybe not a great team, but they should be scoring a lot of points every week.
Hopkins.
D-Hop's back. So maybe this will be all right. Maybe this game will be all right. Doesn't feel like it, though. Defense dominates. That's the world we're living in.
That bad offense is also reigning supreme.
I wonder if the Cardinals lose in a bad way, if Kingsbury's fired next week. He's got to be on the hottest ass seat right now, right? Kingsbury is sizzling. Like his tuchus is cooking.
Tuchus is cookus. Case cookus. Case cookus. It always comes back to case cookus. Yeah, I mean, you have to imagine, right? It's only going to take a couple more really bad losses.
Yeah. I mean, the Cardinals last week, Kyler Murray had 100 rushing yards, and their only touchdown came off special teams, like a punt block.
Mm-hmm.
Your quarterback has 100 rushing yards. There should be more scores. You should be doing something. It'll be interesting to see. DeAndre Hopkins could be a game changer for him. By game changer, I mean they could score 1 or 2 touchdowns.
That is true. The halfway season, the halfway point, Hard Knocks is the Cardinals.
Oh, that's right.
I don't know. If
right after they can't fire a coach before Hard Knocks, can they?
They could.
All the chaos of an interim head coach. Ooh.
But I mean, you look at the West, like the Cardinals could still win it because there's no one who's like looking at the 49ers dealing with injuries. The Rams look so mid right now. The Seahawks, they're looking good on offense, but maybe they're like the favorites right now besides the 49ers. So I don't even know.
Yeah. Here's something that's killing the Cardinals too. It's James Conner had an insane season last year with those 18 total touchdowns. He has 1 touchdown this season. 200 rushing yards total. I think maybe losing Chase Edmonds, bigger blow to their offense than we thought. Like Edmonds was just that nice like threat in the passing game a little bit. It feel like it opened things up for James Conner somewhat, but it's like everybody looks worse in Arizona. I don't know what's going on.
I mean, I also think that they're in a really bad spot because I think their head coach is going to be gone at some point, like in the near future. And then you still don't know if Kyler Murray is the guy, which you just gave him a major contract. And we talked about when they gave him that major contract, like they kind of were forced to because they just like you have to pay the QBs. Ooh. But there you go.
Gotham Ghost Tours.
About
I'd
Batman.
love to do it. My child's too little. She'd get scared. But next in a couple of years.
Yeah.
Also, did you see that Sean Payton was at the Chargers Broncos game?
Yes, I did.
Which team was he scouting? The Chargers.
He's there for press, though. No, because I think he's talked about wanting to coach Herbert.
I know. So Brandon Staley might be on the sneaky hot seat.
I think he was just there for press and like he wound up going, but I think he definitely has an interest in coaching that team. Definitely.
I think he did have an interest in coaching Russell Wilson until he saw Russell.
And then he watched him and was like,
give me Herbie. Give me Herbie. Yeah. I can fix it.
So, but because he has,
Ooh,
I think the Saints have the rights till 2024 on Peyton.
Yeah, but you can trade cash for coaches.
Yeah, you can. No, they can get out of it. I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
they would have to make a deal with the Saints
Yeah.
still. Like, it's not like he's
Yeah,
just like a free guy who could just go anywhere.
No, you can't just be like, I want Sean. You got to offer something.
Yeah.
Just got a update from Benchwarmer Brew, Tom. 41 lemon ginger left, 56 Earl Grey left.
There you go.
Tom's tea bags are almost gone, ladies and
Almost
gentlemen.
gone. Almost gone. When do they come back? I don't know, but
Get his tea bags in your mouth.
Get them while you can. Perna, what do you got coming out today, buddy?
Right after this, I will. What's the title we decided?
I thought Mahomes versus Allen or Allen versus Mahomes, like greatest NFL rivalry ?
Mahomes versus Allen, greatest rivalry in the NFL. Greatest NFL
rivalry.
Yeah, less words, always better.
Yeah, well, that's always better. ?
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, that video's done. That'll go up right after this, and then I'll get power rankings up later today. What do you got, Tom?
Got the AFC South coming out today.
AFC.
Got predictions. I also have in the works what the hell is wrong with the Packers video. I don't know if I'll get it out today. It might be tomorrow.
Ooh.
So that's the one. But folks, we appreciate you. We had over 3,300 people in here today. We'll be back on Friday. Oh, it's just isn't the link in the description?
Benchwarmerbrew.com. Tom's tea bags. Lemon ginger.
Your Earl Grey is very good too. So
I've been drinking it because I've had a sore throat.
Well, bye. But folks, thank you so much for watching. We'll be back here Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Mountain Time. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna. This is GPS. And you have been